The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, live now.
Oh my God, I don't know where you're going. See you, buddy.
It is Trash Talk Radio. It is Tuesday night, and we're getting started a little late here because I have technical issues. Big surprise there. How you doing, Doug?
I'm doing fine, Michael. How are you?
You're coming in loud and clear, it looks like. So that's a good sign. And we're only 15 minutes late. It's not bad. For bankers time or whatever. Yeah, it's going to be a fun show. A lot of things going on in the news. A lot of crazy stuff. So why don't we get right to it? I don't have any RIPs these days. That'll free us up sometime.
But here's the thing, a lot of people die, but you don't care.
Yeah, that's it. Well, if you died, I would do something for you.
Oh,
But if I died, I wouldn't do one for you. So,
neither would
yeah, that's too much work.
I. Too much work, and I'm too far away.
Well, it depends. Let's see, we're only hear really bad audio. Really bad audio? Really? Or reverb? Let me see what's going on. We shouldn't be. Oh, look at Let's see. Oh, okay, let me try. Which one is it? We're going to turn this one off and see if that kills it. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, now how's it sound? Does it sound better now? Hopefully it does. I did see there was a second audio track going in. I don't know why. Okay, she says it sounds better now. So, this darn crazy audio thing. You'd think I know something about audio because I sing. That's not really the case. Actually, I learned that I can't sing Journey's, what is it? What song is that? There's one song that they wanted me to do in the band, and I tried every way to sing it. And I've done Journey in the past. I cannot do this song. It's Stone in Love. When he sings that Stone in Love, I can't get up there. I'm sorry, I'm a guy. You know, I don't know how he gets his voice up there. My vice grips aren't that big. But, you know, it is what it is. So, all right, now let me see where, okay, so we can get rid of this now. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of stuff. I've got so much stuff, and I know we're not going to get to a lot of it. And a lot of it I throw in there as if we get to it, we get to it. If we don't, we don't. And some of the stuff is timeless, so it can go on for years without me ever talking about it and still be pertinent. So it's one of those things. We're getting into the crunch time for the election now.
It's right around the corner, Mike, less than 4 months.
It's crazy. It's really kind of scary that what our options are. It's like, do we want this turd or this turd, you know? They both have upsides, but they have both downsides. And be nice if we had a third equally turdish person, you know, or even polished a little bit. But
it would be nice, but it's probably never going to happen.
Yeah, I don't know. This is kind of strange the way that this is all happening, and actually one of the things that I heard. Let's see if I have. Let me see if I have a copy of what the. Yeah, I think I do. I think this is the copy of what was actually said. So, former Biden spokesman sparks liberal anger for defending Trump remarks for future elections. Now, this was, when I saw it first on Facebook, I thought, this isn't real. This couldn't possibly, nobody would have actually said this.
Trump said it.
Trump is he is his own worst enemy. I mean, he really is. I understand being able to have freedom of speech, and we all say stupid things. But boy, he says a lot of stupid things. A lot more than he should.
I told my guys in the program the other night, let's just assume that Trump's policies are good.
Yes.
His mouth makes them bad.
Yes. Everything he does good is offset by everything else he says. If he were just to plug the mouth hole every once in a while, like someone ought to attach a little a little shock collar around him, and every time he starts to say something like that, you know, just, you know, because he could do so good if he just shut up. You know, the guy has some good ideas, and he blows it every time. I just do not comprehend. I believe in freedom of speech, but I believe also that you don't say stupid things. And
the Bible says that controlling your tongue is an extremely important thing to do.
Yeah, I would say that is true.
It's a small rudder that can turn a giant ship.
Yeah,
Scripture says.
And actually, if you just, I was told, and I never thought about this till, but if you're on a ship, talk about the ship, you know, just 1 degree, one way or the other, you're going to be
off course.
Way off course, or take you to a totally different place. he's driving the ship, and he's, you know, he could do so good if he just wouldn't talk so much. You know, I don't get it. I don't understand why you have to be controversial on everything you do. You know?
At the RNC, liberal commentators had a copy of his speech,
Okay.
and they were scared of his speech
Oh.
because his speech was very good, evidently.
Oh.
The trouble is he didn't stick to his speech. Because one headline I read was, "We dodged a bullet," meaning if he'd have stuck to script, that had been a very good speech.
Yeah. Yeah, I just, it just doesn't make sense to me. He truly isn't a politician. He truly is not a politician. He doesn't,
No, because he'd be disciplined if he was a politician.
and he doesn't bend to anybody. He bends to himself. That's it. So that's good and that's bad. It's bad in the case of him. It's good in the case of probably just about anybody else, because other people may be able to actually say things and not sound stupid. And a man as intelligent as him,
You think would know better.
yeah, I mean, it's just really simple stuff is what it comes down to. It's just, it's common sense, a lot of it, and I would think that somewhere he would really figure it out, but it's not happening that way. I forgot to put this on my page. That way people can find it easier, because it's coming in on the Trash Talking Radio page. So I want to put it where everyone can find it. So we'll put that in there. There we go. Okay, there we go. And okay, now that's posted. So one thing I got to do one more thing. I got to add somebody who will hopefully forward the post on to other people. I'm working with this guy out of Hollywood that I'm trying to get him to pick up. He has his own thing, his own network of stuff that he does, and I want him to pick Trash Talking Radio up because it's a show that should be on his network. He doesn't have anything like our show. He does celebrity interviews, he does whatever, and I can give him a lot of things he doesn't have, and I want him to pick us up. So let's see, what's the guy's name? I can't remember. Oh, Howard. There you are. Oh, I want to make sure that he knows. And I guess I could put Avi in there too. Let them both see the show. Okay, now let's get this thing rolling here. All right. So anyway, so yeah, this future. He made a speech about future. This is the last time you have to worry about voting, and everybody's like, he wants to take over the country. He wants to be a dictator. He wants to do this and that, and I don't think that's what he meant. I mean, he probably does want to be a dictator, and he probably would love that to happen, but that isn't going to happen in our country, I don't think. At least not in our in our time. At least, hopefully, not in our time. Oh, Tina, there you are. Can hear you now. Good. So, you know, I just don't know. I wonder, though, it scares me that he already has had an assassination attempt. And, you know, those kind of things run in, like, one person will do it, then all of a sudden everybody thinks it's okay to do it. And I don't know if that's going to happen this way or not.
the comedy of errors that happened with the Secret Service
Yeah.
hopefully will never happen again.
I'll tell you what, they grilled that lady. That lady of the.
Oh, they did.
I
And
watched that.
They grilled her replacement today.
Oh, really? Oh, boy. I'll tell you what, I watched her get. I mean, I couldn't.
She was pummeled, Michael. She was pummeled.
From every angle. And it's funny because
From
I
both
didn't.
from both sides of the aisle.
Yeah. And the thing is, I thought to myself, I think you explained why they did it. I didn't make a correlation on it. But I couldn't understand why. Okay, didn't he just say that, and now you're saying that, and
It's all sound bites.
I didn't
All
even
sound bites.
until you clarified that. It didn't make any sense to me. I'm thinking, well, didn't we just hear that? Do you have to? I mean, I felt really bad for her. Like, it's bad enough. It's like if your parents ever said you stole the car. No, you stole the car. You stole, and just kept saying you stole the car. You stole the car. I mean, she knows she didn't. Her people didn't do the right thing. So, and I don't blame her for quitting because she would have been out of there anyway. They would have made another point out of her. We got rid of the problem, even though she wasn't the problem.
She wasn't the problem.
She was just a scapegoat. So I guess you got to have a scapegoat. But if what they were saying is true, they went for they asked for more people, and she didn't give them more people.
Correct.
And
Correct.
Joe Biden, I think it was Joe Biden, was in Pittsburgh too.
I don't know where
in
he
a casino or
was,
something like that.
but they have family. Secret Service takes care of family, takes care of the Speaker of the House,
Okay.
the head of the Senate, the minority leader.
Wow.
They have a ton of people they have to protect, and they are undermanned by about 1,900 people.
Wow. You know what?
They have about 8,500 employees. They need 97. 9,700. And they're underfunded. I mean, this is Congress's fault, too.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I remember as a kid when I was probably about, 16, 17, I thought, oh, wouldn't it be cool to be a Secret Service guy? And I thought, no. no, I don't want to be shot at. It would be cool to be, dressed up, have one of them things in your ear and all that. But as far as the bullets coming at you, nah, I think I'll pass. So that's not something I want to happen. So I'll stick to chairs flying at me and people wanting to beat me up, but no bullets. So I don't know. It just cracks me up that people really. They'll throw their lives on the body or their body on the line for those guys. And I thought, yeah, I would probably be running. You're on your own. Nope. I'm not trying to be a hero here. I just want the paycheck and the notoriety. I don't want anything else. I would imagine they get paid fairly well. So.
Civil servants, Michael, they don't get paid that good.
Really? You'd put your life on the line for?
They're civil servants.
Nothing civil about what they do. Man, that's sad. Anyway, yeah. So they also came.
I think Trump meant. This is my guess.
Yeah.
He meant you'll never have to vote for me again.
Yeah, that's what I think too. But when you first see it, you think.
You think he wants to be a dictator?
Well, yeah, and I'm sure he'd like to be a dictator. He would probably
I'm sure
love it.
Biden would like to be a dictator.
Sure, any of them would. But yeah, I don't know. That's a life I wouldn't really want. I just can't see me doing that kind of work. Because you always have, no matter how you want to say you're doing what's right for the people. The bottom line is you always have something in it for you. And even if you don't.
They get addicted to power.
Yeah. I believe that. Yeah.
They get addicted to power and fame, and they're worried about their legacy.
Yes. Yeah. The legacy.
They want to go down well in the history books.
Right. Yeah, and I know I have no chance of that anyway. Not going to go down that way. So, yeah, but Trump said you got to get out and vote. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 years. It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore. In 4 years, you won't have to vote again. So really, that does sound like he is pretty much taking over, and this is the last time you'll ever have to.
Sure. He shot himself in the foot.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what he meant, but that's what he said.
Yeah. It's pretty weird. But, you know, the thing is, it is what it is. And
Because he said in 4 years it'll be fixed. I mean,
Right.
he's admitting he only has 4 years.
right. Yeah. And he's not gonna run again anyway, because he would be Biden's age then, I think.
He'd be older.
Older? Okay. Because Biden's 84? Is he 80?
I think he's 80. He's going to be 80.
Let's look it up.
Or he's going to be 81.
I think he's higher than that. Might be wrong.
Oh, look at that.
How old is? See if he comes up. Yeah, he is. He comes up. That's searched a lot. 80. Oh, he is 81. Huh. Wow. I thought he was older than that. He is. Is he the oldest president we've had?
Yes.
Wow. That's crazy. Yeah. And Trump is 78. He's not that far behind him.
No, but if he loses and would want to run again, he would be he'd be 82 when he ran.
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah. Whew. Yeah. Anyway, all
Let's
right.
let's not think about that.
Yeah, that's.
I don't want to go.
I hope if
he,
I hope if he wins this time and not when he's 82. Because just imagine.
3 cycles of Trump is enough.
Just imagine, like, if this is where he is now, what's it going to be like if he starts losing his, well, I was going to say losing his
He may have
mind,
lost
but
his mind already.
yeah, I was thinking I don't know, I don't know what I was thinking, that's crazy thinking. All right, enough of that. So, let's see here. It says, gunman at Trump rally was often a step ahead of the Secret Service. So every step that it says nearly 100 minutes before former President Trump took the stage in Butler, Pennsylvania, a local counter sniper who was part of a broader security detail let his colleagues know his shift was ending. Guys, I'm out. Be safe, he texted the group. Colleagues at 4:19 p.m. on July 13th. He exited the second floor of the warehouse that overlooked the campaign rally site, leaving 2 other counter snipers behind. Outside, the officer noticed a young man with long stringy hair sitting at a picnic table near the warehouse. So at 4:26, he texted his colleagues about the man, who was outside the fenced area of the Butler Fair Show showgrounds where Trump was about to appear. He said that the person would have seen him come out with his rifle and knows you guys are up there. The counter sniper who sent texts confirmed that the individual he saw later was identified as the gunman. By 5:10 p.m., the young man was no longer at the picnic table. He was right below the counter snipers, who were upstairs in a warehouse owned by AGR International. One of the counter snipers took pictures of him, according to the law enforcement after action report, which, along with the text from Beaver County Emergency Services Unit, was provided by the office of Senator Chuck Grassley, Republican of Iowa. The text messages were independently verified by the Times. By 6:11, the kid would be dead on the roof of the warehouse, and that was connected to the one the counter snipers were stationed in after being shot by a Secret Service for trying to kill the former president. So, taken together, the text messages provided the most detailed picture yet of the hours before the assassination attempt. They revealed that the gunman, later identified as Thomas Crooks, 20, of Bethel Park, aroused suspicion more than 90 minutes before the shooting, rather than about 60 minutes, which had been previously discussed in the hearings. The messages also added evidence for the would-be assassin was often one step ahead of security forces, and in particular, the Secret Service. So, considering he was 20, he pretty much, he could, if he was a better shot, he would have got, you know.
Well, it wasn't that he was a bad shot. It was just God ordained Trump wasn't supposed to die.
Right. Well, yeah, that too.
Because, you know, if he wouldn't have turned his head at that
Yeah.
precise angle, at that precise second, nanosecond,
Yeah, if you think about that,
he'd have had his brains blown out.
that's crazy.
I don't know what the audience feels about the Lord's intervention, but I believe the Lord intervened in this. Kept Trump alive. Don't know why.
Yeah, I was
but
just trying to think of a reason why. There's got to be something, but
can't
yeah.
figure out the Lord sometimes.
Well, maybe we're on the wrong side.
Maybe we're on the wrong side.
We think we're on the right side. I don't know. I mean, it could be just that if it was a sign that Trump should rethink his side, he's not doing that. He's
Well, I would hope that he would rethink some of his, maybe not positions, but some of his demeanor.
But you know, the problem
Be
is
a little more attentive to his attitude, but it doesn't seem to have happened.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I see is that Trump takes it as divine intervention, and because he's
Because
supposed
God
to
wants
do.
him to be president.
Yeah, and that's
And I don't take it like that.
I don't either.
I take it as you got a second chance at life, buddy.
Yeah,
Wise up.
yeah. I don't know. J.D. Vance, was he talked about last? I think we talked about him a little bit last night.
A little bit.
Or last
yeah.
week. So he is opposite of Trump in a lot of stances.
Well, he has been in the past, but they're pretty simpatico right now.
Okay,
They lined up.
okay. I was kind of curious about what your thoughts with that, because, you know, the things I heard was that, you know, he believes that his values are a little bit skewed to what Trump wants. So I'm hoping it's not another Pence, you know, where it becomes adversarial instead of working together.
Well, the working theory is he was chosen because Trump wants him to carry on Trumpism
Okay,
after 4 years.
okay. Well, you never know.
So-
He may, or he may just turn it in another direction altogether. I don't know. But yeah, that's interesting. He's a lot younger than I thought he. Do you know how old he is?
No, I don't.
I'm just curious because he looks like Obama young, you know, which I think Obama was one of the youngest presidents we had. Let's see, bring this how old it is, and I'll just put his name in there. All right, 39.
Wow,
That's yeah, he could be my son.
that's young.
Yeah, that's probably younger than yeah, that would be younger than I think Obama was. So yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. All right, so the next thing, we'll get done with the politics stuff here. Harris looks to maintain momentum as the honeymoon phase winds down. So everybody was excited in the beginning. Money started rolling in. I'm just wondering if it's going to keep that way. I just wonder if she's going to be, when people start thinking about it, is she the right one? You I don't know who the right one is, but is she the right one? That's what my question is.
In 19, she was voted the most progressive socialist left-wing senator there was.
Okay.
And she hasn't softened her responses.
Okay.
So when people start figuring out just how left-wing she really is, they may not like her as much.
Right.
That's her problem.
Yeah. Because she's all the way to the left, right?
She's all the way.
Yeah. I don't.
She's a socialist.
Yeah.
She's not democratic or liberal. She's a socialist.
Yeah. Well, that bothers me too, because I mean, too far one way or too far the other way. You know,
Like I said, I don't like either extreme.
yeah. I'd like to find somebody that's a little more normal. I don't know. I don't even know if that's the right word. So, but that's her.
More mainstream.
Yeah.
That's how I would say.
Yeah. To cater to the majority, not the
Extremes.
extremes. All right. Deadpool opened this weekend. 8th biggest opening of all times with $205 million. Now there's an opening. That's the way I like it. I mean, it's been a while since we've seen that kind of opening. The closest thing was those cartoons that came out recently. So that's kind of cool. I got to see that. But it says here, it says Deadpool and Wolverine opened a record shattering $205 million at the domestic box office. That's just the domestic box office, by the way. Landing the 8th biggest opening of all time among any film, and by far the biggest launch of an R-rated film, not adjusted for inflation. The first Deadpool was previously the record holder at $133.7 million. And Deadpool 3 also shattered records for the R-rated pick on the global site, opening at $233 million internationally from 55 material markets for a worldwide start of 439 million or 438 million. That is big numbers. So, yeah, that's the kind of numbers that everybody strived for before the COVID thing, and very few people even got close. But that's really cool to see that happened, because that shows that the movie market's definitely not dead yet. So
It looked like it was dead.
it looks like it's not as good as it could be, but to see
Coming
Deadpool
back.
bring those, I don't know if it'll ever come back though, because the streaming service have gained so much leverage over the past couple of years. I don't think we're ever going to see it be as good as it could have been. But because nobody wants to go out anymore. Nobody wants to go into movie theaters. Although I like the theaters that have the recliners. Those are the theaters that are awesome. But the closest one to here is 30 Miles that has the recliners. But the one theater, the Regal over at the Harrisburg East Mall, which was probably one of the bigger theaters, they're shut down. They're gone. They're getting rid of the Harrisburg East Mall. Do you believe that after all those years?
What are they doing with it?
Well, the only thing that's going to be there is the Bass Pro, and then I think they're going to be rebuilding the whole. I don't think they're going to rebuild it as big as it was, because there are some new stores going in there. But I mean, COVID killed so many businesses that they can't afford to. I mean, Regal owed them I don't know how many millions of dollars because of COVID, because they had to shut down for those months, and they couldn't make it after they were allowed to open up again. So that was one of my favorite theaters to go to.
How much is the quality of a television set impacted movies too? Because people can sit at home and enjoy most movies without having to see it on the big screen.
Okay, well the big power there is, most people don't have a big living room or, giant living room that you can get that feeling of the giant thing. But that's not even the issue there. Most homes don't have the sound capability, the big booming sound. Like I could probably replicate it in my setup because I have audio equipment for bands. So I could probably get that big booming sound, but where am I going to put all the equipment? Even in my big living room, your living room would be filled with lots of equipment, which I don't see as a bad thing, but most people wouldn't like that. But today's TVs, they're pretty good. They're 4K. They have 8K TVs now. I saw they had a what is it? 100 and was it 100 and I want to say 100 and it was I don't know 115, 120 inch big screen TV that just came out and it's 8K. And well, of course, guess how much?
Yeah, well,
you're not going to guess. I don't think you might.
No,
just
I don't think
pull
so.
a number. Pull a number out.
5,000
times 4.
times 4.
Yes. But the picture is just beautiful. It's going to be better than any screen that you would go to from a projector, but it's $20,000. It does include installation, though.
Oh, that's big of them, Mike.
The box is huge. I saw it on YouTube. I was just scrolling through and it said an 8K. I want to say, I can't remember I think it was over 100 inches. But I was like, I want to see this. This has got to be, and it really was pretty darn good. But it's a heavy unit. It has to be mounted on the wall. Well, it doesn't have to be, but it would be safer to mount it on the wall. And it really looks great. But who's going to pay 20 grand? I don't know.
Oh, there are people out there.
I would if I had 20 grand laying around that I didn't have anything to do with. She has, what'd she say? Oh, Domo has Deadpool and Wolverine. I don't know what that said. She scrolled up one. Domo has Deadpool and Wolverine pizzas. Oh, Domino's has Deadpool and Wolverine pizzas. That's funny. And if you can't hear, and go out and come back in because it sounds okay on this end. Comfy chairs, $6,500. $6,500 for what? The TV I was looking at was, she was guessing the price. That was 20 grand. Yeah, it's just 20 grand. That's the center of most people's entertainment. So I don't know. I guess it's not unreasonable. If you're building a house, what's 20 grand more for a house if you're getting it installed into your house? But again, it's not going to be like, let's turn the house around now and let's put the TV on this side now. You're not going to be doing that.
Once it's up, it's up.
That's the big deal, is that you don't really have a lot of options with that. But I think it would be cool. It must be nice, but there are better things to spend that on. Yes, I agree with that. Like a Tesla. I was watching. Did you ever watch Top Gear?
Yes.
Top Gear.
Old version.
Yes, the one with Jeremy on it. Jeremy and May were driving electric cars. This was back in the early 2000s, back when Nissan had their 70-mile car, and there was another one too. And they were going to charge it, and there were no charging stations because it's relatively new then, and they saw you had to wait a day to charge up. I know those days. It's a lot different today, but way back then, that's what it was. You had to wait that long. If that's the big problem with electric. Hey, Christine, that's the big problem with the electric cars way back then, is that the time it takes to charge them, and now you have the fast chargers and stuff. but they were charging them to 100%. You don't charge an electric car to 100%. It's just not good. But it's funny because we've learned so much about electric cars, and they were talking about having to charge that and taking so long to charge it and all that. I know what that's like. I came in on the early parts of my first one. Took a while to charge. It took, my first Tesla. It would take me 45 minutes to charge it to 75, 80%. My new one's not at all like that. It's a lot better and a lot more efficient. So, and what do you do? What do you do? The batteries after they won't work? Well, if you do things correctly, they will last you a lot longer than your car will last you. I've seen those cars go for 500,000 miles, and they were using them for Uber. Uber was using them, and they have 500,000 miles on them. That's crazy. So, but what do you do with the batteries after they don't work? You end up probably getting rid of the car, because it doesn't pay to have the batteries at this time. Doesn't pay to have the batteries replaced unless you really love your car, and which I do love my car, and so. Anyway, yeah, my lease is coming up in a year and a half, so I got to start thinking about what I want to do. Do I want to get it? Do I want to keep this one? Do I want to get a new one? And if I get a new one, why would I get the new one? What does the new one have that the old one doesn't have? I haven't seen any big changes in the technology. Last time, the technology went from my full charge being 250-ish to being 360. That's a big difference, and that's a difference between, like, when you're driving to Florida. That's a difference between having to charge, 4 or 5 times to 6 to 10 times to get there. It's too much. My new car that I'll be getting, though, is an Aptera. That'll get 1,000 miles to the charge, and it has a smaller battery than my current Tesla. So that'll be the one I'll use for traveling whenever that's released. They have it out on the market, but they don't have that battery. They don't have that set up yet. They're selling the smaller battery packs, but I want the big battery pack because I want to drive wherever I want to go, whenever I want to go, and that's a whole other thing. Anyway, back to Deadpool. All right, let's see here. All right, well, that's the only thing really big is the Deadpool that made all that money. That's a good thing. That's a recovery in somewhat of that industry. That industry will probably always be there, but I don't think that the studios will be able to work out. Like, the way that they do it is when the movie first comes out, the theaters get the least amount of money. They'll get like 10% of the profit. And as it goes out further, you get 20%, 30%, 40%. They're going to have to restructure that if they expect the movie theaters to continue. So if they do it on streaming, that's, my business partner said that the shipment that he got was missing the piece that it was supposed to be in. They got a packing slip, but that's it. So anyway, yeah, they're going to have to rethink the way that whole system works, because there's no way they could sustain the system the way that it is now. So, yeah. Hopefully they revamp it. I mean, I'd hate to see theaters go away. I really like the big theater thing. I really like the big picture and the big sound and all that stuff. But as technology gets better, that we can reproduce some of that stuff in our homes. And not everything needs that giant sound that a Star Wars might, Got to have surround sound, and you got to have stuff like that. I can't wait to see the movie. I really can't wait to see the movie, the foul language and all. Yeah, that's what you're guaranteed with that, with Deadpool. It's not going to be a family-friendly movie. You're not going to be taking your kids. So Robert Downey Jr. is coming back to the Avengers, which is, to me, interesting because he was Iron Man, and Iron Man got killed in the last Avengers movie. So I found out that he's not coming back as Iron Man, though. He's coming back as Doctor Doom. So, and I don't know who Doctor Doom is. I don't know if he's a bad guy or a good guy or whatever, but, well, let's see if this tells me. That'd be nice if it told me. Dr. Doom, all green. Marvel has cast Dr. Doom, Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom in 2 new Avengers movies. So that
It looks like a bad guy.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. Marvel Universe had a much-needed boost this weekend from Deadpool and Wolverine with a record-breaking... Okay, we already talked about that. It says, and from the panel at this weekend, San Diego Comic-Con kept up the momentum, delighting attendees with sneak peeks at what's to come, most notably the return of Robert Downey Jr. The twist, Robert Downey Jr. won't be doing Iron Man. Instead, he'll be playing Dr. Doom for the Avengers 2026, with the Russo brothers returning to direct. This will be followed by Russo-directed Avengers Secret Wars 2027. Did you see all the Avengers stuff?
I haven't seen a one.
Oh, okay. It was pretty...
Not a superhero. I'm not a superhero connoisseur.
Well, that was... I liked the way they did it. They had all the individual movies so you could get acquainted with the characters, and then they brought them all together into one big giant movie that was probably really expensive to build because of all the egos and salaries that, you know, some of those guys took. Like, you know that Robert Downey Jr., he made enough money. And then Captain America and all them guys. So it says new mask, same task. I don't know what that means. It's no secret that the Marvel Studios originally planned its Phase 6 Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, around Mayor Kang's The Conquerors and the associated variants. Introduced in Loki in last year's Ant-Man and the Wasp. Did I see that? I don't think I saw that one. But then, I'd never heard of the Avengers till the Avengers movies came out. And I didn't even know that they had all these comic books and stuff out. So I had to play catch up and figure out who these people were. But they were.
See, Mike, I didn't grow up with comic books. So.
Right. I didn't read comic books except for the embarrassing ones that I read. Archie and stuff like that.
Yeah, those comics.
Superman, Batman.
With, superheroes.
Yeah, well, this is a whole different world, and I never knew even existed. And like the guy was my assistant at one time where I worked. He knew everything about every superhero, and I'm like, I don't know any of these guys. And he was saying about, you know, the different things that were coming out, saying that you got to make sure you see this movie. And so I went to see them, and I was addicted to the movies because they had some pretty good stories and pretty good things that made me interested in them. So, hi. Are you coming down here to bug me? Both of you are here. You guys got to put headphones on if you're gonna be bugging me all the time. Bring the dogs on the show again. They're looking at me. They're looking at me like, feed me. We don't eat at all. Oh, you're so hungry. Oh, shush. All right. You've been good. I got to do something for you. But anyway, I am actually anxious to see what they're going to do with... What? If you have an opinion about this, you ought to say it. Okay, you got to run upstairs because I don't have 2 of these. Okay? Here, run. No. Take it. Hold on. I'll give you one of these. You're not going to be forgotten about. He's so worried that I'm not going to feed him. This dog is a trip. Oh, but I don't know. I got addicted to the stuff because I thought it was compelling. It was interesting to me, and I like Robert Downey Jr. too. I mean, since he cleaned his act up, he's done great stuff. So, but I'm interested to see what this is going to be all about. But yeah, I don't know anything about. I've never heard of. It's a whole other world that I never heard of. I never heard of Doctor Doom. I don't know if he's a good guy or a bad guy, or he sounds like he's a bad guy, but you know, I'm curious as to whether he is or not. But yeah, you know, I'll probably be addicted to it. So, did you watch The Boys on Amazon?
No.
Okay.
No.
You might like that show because it's an anti-superhero movie.
Oh, okay.
Well, actually, it's a series.
Is it? It's a series.
It's a series. Right. The opening of the first episode, you see this guy walking with his girlfriend down the street, and they are getting ready to go across the crosswalk, and the girl steps down off the thing, and she doesn't step any further. She just steps down, and she's one step ahead of her boyfriend. And all of a sudden, and they're holding hands, and all of a sudden you hear this, and then you look down, and the guy's holding her hand, but the rest of her's gone. The speeding guy, he's called A-Train, was running down the road and ran into her, and she blew up. And that's how it starts. And I'm thinking, well, that's an eye-opener. So the superheroes are basically commercials. Like, this is why you should not break the law, because these superheroes are here, and they're supposed to be, people that we look up to, and because they're always trying to do the right thing, and they're not. The main hero, quote unquote, is a bad guy. He does bad things. You don't know it on the surface. You have to look to see, but he ends up like there's an airplane that's getting ready to crash, and him and this other superwoman, they both flew up to try to save the plane, and he looked around and he said, not worth it, and took off and just let the plane die. And he could have saved the plane, but he didn't really think it was okay. He thought it was okay just to let him die. So they aren't necessarily the good guys, but they do these commercials and stuff with them in it, and show that how united they are and how they save the world and do this and that. And it's funny because it's anti-superhero, because then you have that guy that was holding that girl's hand. He has a personal vendetta against him now because they killed his fiance or whatever. And so he finds a bunch of people that are trying to kill them. They're called soups. So he joins this anti-soup people, and they're targeting the superheroes because they're two-faced. So it's kind of, I like this show because of the idea that if there were superheroes, that's probably how they would be. They would be all up front. They'd be all, good guys, but then in the background.
Sounds like the Greek gods. The Greek gods were
bad,
just as bad as any human being can be.
Yeah, but I like that. They're going to have a prequel for that, and they actually had a second series about the superheroes as they were kids. So the kids of the superheroes went to a special school because they had superpowers too. I kind of liked the one that they had. It was interesting, but I keep I pay for Amazon, so I pay for Prime, so I get Amazon for free. So that's a good reason to watch it. I feel like I get my money's worth in. They also have stuff on there. Some of the Top Gear guys had second and third and fourth shows other than Top Gear, and they have, like, James May had a cooking show. and they each have their shows on those things too. So, but anyway, by the way, if you said did you watch Jeremy Clarkson also had Clark's Farm?
No.
That's on Amazon, and it's awesome. It's when COVID happened. Well, they didn't have any way to make any money because they couldn't go and do their show. So he owned a farm with 1,000 acres, and he decided he was going to become a farmer. At 50, or no, at 60 something, he was going to be a farmer with no farming experience. So he got a local farmer to help him, and actually his local farmer actually saved him because he did all the work, and just showed you the plight of the farmer. It was actually pretty good. They're on season 3 now, but he kept trying to find ways to make money. He had cows, he had sheep, he had, just different things, and everything he did in the 3 years that they had this show, he's lost tons of money, and he shows the plight of the farmer. So that's a good reason to have the show, because I don't think a lot of people understand how much they work and how little they make for what they work. So yeah, I really like that show. That's a really good show. Got the Olympics. Olympics is underway. I think that's really cool because they've been doing. Let's see here. What is I gotta see what the numbers here are. The first day, it was funny. Did you watch any of the Olympics?
I get glimpses of it. I don't sit down and watch it, no, but I get glimpses. I know what's going on.
Like if you have Peacock, you can watch the Olympics without commercials, which is really cool.
Right.
And
I have Peacock.
I watched the opening ceremonies, and I'll tell you what, it was raining like crazy, and those people were performing out in the rain. That had to be horrible. But every country that was represented was, had boats down the river and stuff like that, and that was kind of cool. And, like, I never really got into the Olympics that much, but, I could see why. Oh, okay, Doctor Doom is from Spider-Man. I didn't know that. Okay, well, that would be... So is he a bad guy, I'm assuming? Yeah, so... yeah, it was interesting to see how Lady Gaga was singing, Talk about updating the Olympics. I mean, Lady Gaga is current. At least we have somebody current. And it was interesting. It was worth watching. And so I kind of watched it, and that was probably the first time I ever watched that much of the Olympics. Just because I had it on the background when I was writing the show and stuff. But yeah, it's they put a lot of money into that. And it was interesting to see France. I mean, we see it in movies, but to actually see it. And it's funny because you're probably not a Walking Dead fan, but Daryl Dixon, who is one of the main characters of Walking Dead, has a spin-off called Daryl Dixon. His spin-off was filmed in France. And so they have zombies in France and all that stuff. And he's fighting zombies. And it's funny to see the Eiffel Tower where you know that there were zombies and stuff and all that stuff. And it's all on TV. They cleaned all the zombies up so you could have the Olympics there.
They cleaned it up just for the Olympics.
They said, look, you can come back after the Olympics. Or maybe they're represented. But that was it was just really kind of cool to see the Eiffel Tower and to see the river and all that stuff that goes through there. It was interesting. So and Simone Biles is doing really well. She's
doing very well.
Yeah, she
came back from injury.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that she made it to the 4th round or something or whatever.
She won gold.
Okay.
She did win gold, I think, today.
Okay.
Or last night. She won.
Okay. Well, that's it says here the first ever waterborne opening ceremony drew an audience of, do you know how many?
No, but NBC is very happy.
Yes, 28.6 million viewers.
20, okay.
And that's on NBC and Peacock, along with 670,000 more in Telemundo, according to the last national figures. So that's the biggest audience in the summer opening since 2012 in London, where there was 40.7 million. But if you add the 28.6, well, that's in Peacock and NBC. So it's still less, quite a bit less than that. But there's a lot of choices nowadays because you've got so many channels and so many streaming platforms. So that's probably considered good. It says here, in 2016, they did 26.5 million, and 2021 in Tokyo they did 17.9 million. So I think it's respectable. I think they'll get their money back. But that's.
Well, they have a whole streaming service that they can dedicate to this.
And they will get tons.
They didn't have that before.
Because that doesn't count me watching it on a replay. That's probably just live that they're talking about.
That's live.
So that's pretty good when you're talking about a live thing. But yeah, I was definitely interested in.
They also, if you're familiar with football, you have the Red Zone, which is a channel dedicated to showing you highlights.
Right.
Instant.
Yep.
They just go from game to game to game and show you the highlights.
Okay.
They have that for the Olympics now.
Okay.
They have a studio where they just go from event to event to event and show you the highlights of that event.
That's the way I would like it. That's one thing.
That's the way. I think that's the future of the Olympics.
Yeah, I agree with that. I said about
I'm
Daryl
surprised you didn't ask me about the controversy.
of the Olympics.
Yeah.
Okay. What about the controversy of the Olympics? I obviously don't know.
The drag queens imitating the Last Supper.
Yeah. Okay. I did see that. That was. Yeah. That was. What do you think? Oh, okay. Tell me.
Well, Christian. Yeah, my only comment is Christianity is the only religion that you can really kick around without reprisal.
Okay.
They wouldn't do that to Islam.
No, kind of.
You know, they're free to say whatever they want to say. They're free to do whatever they want to do.
Right.
But I'm not going to, I just know that Christianity is not going to do anything.
Right.
Except maybe not watch.
Right. They'll teach
What's
them.
What's the worst thing we're going to do? We're not going to turn on the Olympics.
Right.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
So there's no downside to expressing your views against Christianity.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we're supposed to turn the other cheek and be understanding and pray and not retaliate.
Okay.
So you can kick us around.
Yeah.
We're not going to do much. But, some said they didn't go far enough. And others said it was just artistic license.
Yeah. I thought the interesting
I
thing.
can't read their hearts and minds, so I don't know what their intent was.
The thing that stood out in my mind was when they did the opera, and then brought in the heavy rock band, and then the singer of the operatic thing sang with the heavy rock band. That was
pretty cool.
That was pretty darn cool. I like that because I'm not an opera person, but Pam sang opera and was actually.
Did she?
She was not only an opera singer; she was a good opera singer. She sang at the club. She sang at the Met in New York, and she was offered chances to sing overseas. And I found this after she died. I found this letter asking her, "Hey, quiet." I found this letter from a place, I don't remember where it was, but inviting her to come over and sing overseas. And she never told me about it because she knows if I had seen that, I would have said, "Do it." You know, because that's a once in a lifetime opportunity. If someone had offered me a chance to sing overseas, I would do it. I don't even have to make money. I just want to say I did it. That'd be really cool. But the thing is that she just didn't feel that. She felt that her time was over. She felt that she didn't want to do it anymore. She had done it and spent a lot of time doing it, and she just didn't think that that was what she wanted to do. She wanted to be a wife, and she didn't want to do it. So that's why she probably never told me. Because I would have convinced her to go. I would have thought that would have been the coolest thing, if she did that. The U.S. men's gymnastics wins bronze in a team all-around competition. Their first medal in 16 years.
Yeah, they don't do very well. So
I love to watch.
They did this time.
I love to watch those kind of things because I could never do any of that stuff. I look there and I think, whoa! It's like I watch American Ninja Warrior. I don't know if you ever watch that show or not. Those people do some. I just can't believe people have that kind of athleticism. I mean, they're flying all over the place. I'm like, I get tired of just riding on a plane. These guys are flying, like, I don't know. But it's amazing to see the stuff they do. Now, I mentioned about Daryl Dixon. I forgot that I also have a Daryl Dixon story. AMC has renewed Daryl Dixon for a third season. So this is a Walking Dead spinoff. They're going to have the action in Spain. He's a cool guy because hey, stop it. I don't know what you're growling him for over there. I hope you don't have any animals over there, but keep it down. He likes to travel and he likes motorcycles. Like he has a show called Riding with Daryl Dixon or something, or Riding with Norman Reedus is his real name. But anyway, he does these journeys on motorcycles, and he invites celebrities to go with him. And sometimes it's in the United States, sometimes it's in England or wherever. So he's in heaven. He's getting to go get paid to do these motorcycle trips. But here he's going to get paid to be in Spain. Says after the show's first and second season, which were set in France, like I had said before, production for the new episodes will start next month and will be based in Madrid. The first season easily became the #1 premiere of all times on AMC's streaming service. So I think they're going to continue doing that show. I mean, he was one of the main characters on. Funny enough, he was one of the main characters on Walking Dead. But if you read the comic book Walking Dead, he's not even in it. They created his character to be this redneck guy in The Walking Dead. And the first season, he played it like the redneck guy that didn't like black people. He didn't like Asian people. He didn't like, he was that redneck. He even had a southern kind of drawl. He became so popular, they straightened him out, and he became just a tough guy. And it was just kind of funny to see the evolution of that character as he became not the redneck guy. And in reality, he's actually a pretty nice guy. He's not at all like that in reality, but his character took an overhaul and became the lead character because the main character, Rick Grimes, wanted out of the Walking Dead, and he took a hiatus on it. And so he became the main character when, Rick became missing. And now Rick's back and has his own show. But it's just funny how that all worked out. It worked out good for him, for Norman. So, oh, here we go. Okay, we already proved that wrong, so I'm not going to leave that in there. Okay. The Olympics, Simone. Okay. What did you say she won?
She won gold, I believe, today.
Okay, here, I don't know. I think this is from today. I didn't read it. I just saw her name on it. Gold medalists aren't the only thing glittering in Paris. Stars have flocked to France to catch the Olympics live and in person. Ceremony, let's see here, cheered Simone Biles and the U.S. women's gymnastics team from inside Bercy Arena, where Tom Cruise, Ariana Grande, Cynthia Erivo, Greta Gerwig, Baz Luhrmann. I don't know who these people are. I guess some of them they must be actors. Oh yeah, Matthew Broderick, John Legend, Chrissy Teigen, Nick Jonas. Man, these people, that's the other thing. So the price of their tickets, I mean, that's not even the price of your room or your flight or anything else. The price of the tickets. You have to be a multi-millionaire to be able to go do one of these things. So these are all people that I wouldn't have expected to see in previous Olympics. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they always had celebrities there, but it seems to me that this is a bigger deal.
Well, it's a bigger deal because it's Paris.
Yeah. I just heard a really loud thunder. Sounded like yeah. It's dark enough that it should be. It's probably thunder. Anyway, yeah. So, I mean, I was thinking about that. I was thinking about these people that were all and all the people. I think it was hilarious that the piano guy was playing in the rain, and these people are all like doing their thing in the rain, and all these boats are coming down. They're all like dancing in the rain and stuff. So that should have been the theme: dancing in the rain.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad to see Biles did so well.
Yeah, she won gold, and it was in the team finale.
That's awesome.
So,
what do you have? What do you want to talk about?
Supreme Court.
Okay, we'll do it after.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, well, I'm going to wrap up the entertainment stuff, and then I'll turn it over to you. I do want to do this game show. This is I'm going to give you plus or minus. We'll give you 5 years. 5 years. I'll try, and if you don't know who they are, you don't have to say their age. But Christopher Nolan, he was the guy that did Batman, the 3 Batman. He's the director.
62.
54. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He's 80. He's almost 80.
Okay, you're within 5 years. 77. Hilary Swank.
Don't know.
She was in. What was that movie she was in? She was in that one that. Oh, I forget. Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, black guy.
Oh, I think he's. I could be dead wrong. I think he's 55.
63.
63.
I was thinking he was much older than that. I don't know why. I was thinking he was going to be closer to 70. But, hey, what do I know? Terry Crews.
Don't know.
56. He was a football player. He's now on America's Got Talent. He's the announcer. He also was on that one Brooklyn. What was it? It was a comedy. Anyway, he's a big guy. He's like he makes me look short. Lisa Kudrow.
47.
I was shocked at her age because I think the other friends are in their 50s, early 50s. She is 61.
61.
That's what it says. I found that hard to believe, but I don't know if you know her or not, Gina Rodriguez.
No.
She does Fast and Furious movies. She's a Latino tough chick. I like her. She's like 40. And lastly, Delta Burke.
She's 65.
68. Got points for that. All right. I have a bunch of other ones, but a lot of them I don't even know. So I didn't want to bother saying them if I don't know them. I figure if I don't know them, you don't know them either. Because I watch a lot of TV. So today in history, British author Emily Bronte was born in 1818. The automobile pioneer Henry Ford was born in 1863. Uruguay wins first World Cup in 1930. And says Arnold Schwarzenegger was born in 1947, which we already know because I already said. Kate Bush was born in 1958. Medicare and Medicaid established in the United States in 1965. So there you go. Here's your history lesson for today. And
another socialistic program that I can't do without.
Yes. Yes. Oh, by the way, the Penguin is coming out with a movie.
The Penguin.
The Penguin.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to that movie. Who was the Colin Farrell is going to be the Penguin.
Okay.
It says here he appeared virtually to talk up the spinoff of Matt Reeves' The Batman, while the cast and executive producers worked the crowd in the frenzy. I'll tell you what, I want to see this. I watched on Max, they have a show about when Batman was growing up. And it's actually about Commissioner Gordon before he was commissioner. He was a cop. And it's about his life and Bruce Wayne as a child. And Alfred watching over Bruce Wayne and all that. I like the show. But the Penguin that they had was Pee Wee Herman. And he played it so well, you didn't know it was Pee Wee Herman. It was really interesting. And it was before he got fat, too. He was a skinny penguin. And he didn't like being called the Penguin. He had his real name, too, that he went by. I can't remember off the top of the head. But I like that show. But anyway, we'll see. It says here, Colin, the handsome leading man who endured 3.5 hours of makeup every day to transform the unrecognizable Oz Cobb, the Penguin. Now all those fruits of hours of sitting in the makeup chair is about to bloom, with the show getting a close-up at San Diego's Comic-Con. So, yeah, I kind of want to see that. That should be pretty neat. So, it's funny because we got the Penguin, and then we got the Joker. Is coming out with the Joker 2, which will be out pretty cool. The first Joker was interesting because you got some background on why he became a bad guy. He just started being bullied, and he got mad and took over. Just made sure he got his revenge on people. But it's interesting that if you didn't see the Joker, that was a good movie. There's a new Star Trek coming out. It's I gotta make this bigger so I can read it. How many different Star Trek shows are there now?
We're down to one on TV.
Oh, is there? Okay.
Strange New Worlds.
Oh, that's the one that I got to finish that. I keep watching it. I keep forgetting it's on, and then when I look for something to watch, I forget that I like that show. This new one is Star Trek Section 31. It's a movie trailer starring Michelle Yeoh, and it was released at Comic-Con. So,
well, Section 31 is Black Ops.
Oh, interesting. I would see that.
They have all the they have all the new gizmos and gadgets, and they do things that are off the books
Okay.
that Starfleet doesn't know about.
Ah.
So when's that coming out?
I will tell you in. Let's see. It is coming out. Okay, the long-awaited first trailer for Star Trek Section 31 is finally here, and it definitely brings a fresh vibe to the franchise. Paramount Plus revealed a 2-minute look at the Star Trek Discovery spin-off, which stars, if you ever saw Everything Everywhere at Once. Hi. Oh, you don't be a scary dog. It stars Everything Everywhere All at Once winner Michelle Yeoh, reprising her role as Emperor Philippa Georgiou. The show is about a Georgiou joining the secret Black Ops division of Starfleet. The official description: when tasked with protecting the United Federation of Planets, she must also face the sins of her past. And the trailer strives for a more rebellious tone for the nearly 60-year-old Star Trek franchise, with contemporary music trailer. Or contemporary music. The trailer is set up with Beyonce's Formation, an on-screen warning from Starfleet about its misfit content. And the title card graphics, which break with Star Trek tradition. At one point, an officer tells Georgiou that she's to keep tells her that she's to keep her from murdering people, and the Emperor replies, "What a cute idea." In another scene, a character describes Georgiou as a bad bitch. The 2-minute video also includes a new look at the young Philippa, played by Miku Martineau. So the trailer was, it still doesn't give me a date. Oh, here we go. Section 31 was originally conceived as a TV spin-off in the TV series in 2017 during the filming of the first season of Discovery. The project first entered talks in 2018, picked up steam in 2019, and then it was ordered as a movie. So last year it was ordered as a movie, so I guess it's coming out soon. It says, here it is. Section 31 will premiere on Paramount in early 2025. So there you go. That'll be.
I am a Trekkie.
Yeah, that sounds like it could be interesting. A different concept for Star Trek, where it's talking about killing. That's different for them. And
well, if you want assassinations, Section 31 is the place to go.
That's it. And the very last section here, this has something to do with what you're going to talk about. President Joe Biden yesterday proposed a set of changes to the U.S. Supreme Court, including creating an enforceable code of conduct and setting term limits with justices. A departure from the current life. I don't know if that's what you were going to talk about or not, but
yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
Well, no. This is what I'm setting it up. I'm setting it up for you. A departure from the lifetime tenure, capping each justice term to 18 years, and could reduce chances of a single president shaping the country's highest court, which is what probably Trump is trying to do. So
which he did in his first term.
Oh, okay. The outgoing president also proposed an amendment to the U.S. Constitution that would overturn the Supreme Court's recent decision for giving President Trump some immunity from criminal prosecution for actions taken while in office. 2/3 of the House and Senate must constitutional amendments, which 3/4 of the state legislators, must then ratify. The proposal is unlikely to be enacted. Separately, former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows asked the Supreme Court yesterday to intervene in his criminal election interference case in Fulton County, Georgia. Meadows cited the court's Trump immunity ruling as part of his request. So the floor is yours.
Well, the court is divided 6-3. There's 9 justices on the Supreme Court. It's divided 6-3. 6 conservative-leaning justices and 6 very liberal-leaning justices. Right? 6-3. They have been putting out some, 43% of all decisions are unanimous.
Okay.
That means all 9 agree.
Okay.
There were 22 that were 6-3.
Okay.
Of those 22, the left is mad at all of them.
That's funny. That's funny.
But here's the deal. If the court was 6 liberals to 3 conservatives, and the liberals had done 22 of them that were against conservatives,
Okay.
Joe Biden wouldn't be doing this.
Okay.
This is political. This isn't for the benefit of the court. This is political.
Right.
The left can't beat the Supreme Court, so they want to change it. Now, is term limits a bad thing? No,
No.
it's not a bad thing. Some of our senators should be term limited too. So the proposal for 18 years, 2 every year, is not a bad thing. But the problem is it's politically motivated.
Yes. But to every year, I mean, you wouldn't. What you're saying? They'd have to be reelected every year?
No. They would. A president would get 2 Supreme Court justices every term.
Okay. Okay.
Every term he would get 2 to put in. And so the court would constantly be rotating from left to right, depending on elections. And it could create a lot of turmoil in the court. Plus, that means 2 justices every year to fight over. Every 4 years, 2 justices. Were you watching when Brett Kavanaugh and Barrett and Gorsuch went through during Trump's time, and what the left did to them and said about them and accused them of? They accused them of rape. They accused Gorsuch and Kavanaugh of rape. I mean, does the country really want to go through that every other year?
Yeah.
Because the left's the one that does this.
Yeah.
It's not the right. It's the left. Right? Because the court has been conservative now for so long, it's the left's only option is to try to destroy the candidate. Because they can't win on the other way.
You're knocking stuff down here, puppy. Dog is afraid of that dog is afraid of nothing except the storm. Anyway, well.
So, and then the other thing they want to do is put an ethics provision in, an enforceable ethics provision. One, you have to declare every gift that you get.
Okay.
Justice Thomas and Justice Alito. Well, Justice Thomas has been receiving some big gifts from political donors that he is not forthrightly declared. And that's wrong. That's wrong. And Alito, his wife, is very politically active, and he has spoken at conservative events. And you're not supposed to do that either. All other federal judges, lower court judges, federal judges, are under strict ethic rules. The Supreme Court is not.
Interesting.
So some of what Biden wants to do is not bad.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think
it's not really bad.
Yeah.
It's just that it's politically motivated, not motivated for the right reasons.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm okay with the what it could be. I mean, if it's only 2. I mean, I don't like the fact that they get the whole their lifetime in there, because they, I think we need fresh blood in there.
We're the only major democracy that doesn't term limit its highest court.
Hmm.
Now, there is an issue.
Okay.
It could be that the Constitution forbids term limiting.
Oh, okay.
But guess who would have to decide that?
Them.
The Supreme Court.
Yeah, I don't think that we'd make out real well with them. That's like asking me, what we should limit for pizza slices.
Yeah.
Kind of wrong person to ask. So I understand that. It's funny.
So it's not going to go anywhere, Michael, because the country's split.
Right.
And our Congress is split. And it's just not going to happen.
Right.
But I guess where I come down on the end, it's not a bad idea in theory. It's not a bad idea, but practically speaking, I don't know if I want to go through what Trump made us go through.
Right.
He put 3 justices in, and they were horrible.
Yeah.
There was a horrible time.
And how do you determine who gets replaced? If you're only...
They die or retire.
But if they have...
It's die, retire, or impeached.
But I'm saying that if they have, if they go through with this, and they have 2 every time a new president's in, how do they determine who has to retire?
Okay, it would be, you're in for 20 years.
Okay.
So Thomas would be out immediately.
Okay.
Justice Thomas would be gone immediately. Justice Roberts would be gone. Alito would be gone next year. And Justice Roberts would be gone 2 years.
Okay.
Because they would all hit their 20 within a 4-year period. Those 3 would hit their 20 years.
Hmm.
And that could change the whole complexion of the court.
Right.
We could go, if Kamala gets in,
right,
we could go from 6 conservative justices to 6 liberal justices.
Hmm.
If she wins 2 terms.
Yeah.
We could go to 7-4.
Right.
7-2. So it is politically expedient for this to happen for liberals. It is not politically expedient for this to happen for conservatives.
Exactly. That makes sense. So so that's why he's trying to make it happen before he gets out. So
it's not going to happen, but he'll get the legacy for it. Let's say it's enacted 4 years from now.
Right.
Biden will get the legacy for it because he started it. He's legacy building now. His next 4 months are going to be legacy building.
Okay. I mean,
He's going to propose a lot of things that will never get through while he's in office.
Okay.
But he wants it on the books.
Right.
For his legacy.
I mean,
any president would do that.
Yeah. I mean, guess I totally get it. It just, you know, um, you gotta leave something. You gotta leave something behind. You gotta have people talking about something other than the fact that you're not capable to continue your legacy the other way. You know?
There's a book coming out by Bill O'Reilly that paints him as the second worst president in the history of the country.
Who do they think is? Who's he think the first is?
McKinley, I believe.
Okay.
Old guy back in the 1800s.
Yeah, I remember him. I mean, I don't remember him, but
But, you know, so you want books that say you were pretty good. You were in the top 5.
right.
Right.
Yeah. You want to.
You don't want Bill O'Reilly's book to stand. You want to have something that says you're better than that.
You want to say I was almost as good as Trump. Because after all, if you ask Trump, he's going to say he was the best president ever. So,
Trump's going to write his own book.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm the best president ever.
That's right. Well, if you're the best president ever, somebody should write a book about you. I mean,
Trump will take care of that.
I shouldn't say that because people have written a book about him, so it wouldn't be like, but none of them are complimentary. So, oh man, he's a piece of work. That's all I got to say.
He's his own worst enemy.
Yes, he really is. He doesn't know when to keep it, you know, to be.
Zipped.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's well, you know, I guess the thing is, it comes down to again, who's going to do the least damage? Because we're in a no-win situation.
Even with Kamala, it's still the same. She's very left-wing.
Right.
Trump's very right-wing.
Yeah.
What happens to the middle of the country?
We all get screwed.
We all get screwed.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's a weird piece of history that we're in right now.
Michael.
Yes.
Project 2025.
Yes.
They fired the head of it.
Okay.
Trump has been complaining about it so much that the Heritage Foundation fired the head of Project 2025.
Is that good or bad?
Trump is trying to distance himself from it so far and so fast. It's good for him.
Okay. Well,
I don't know if it's good for the rest of us, but
yeah,
it's good for him.
I just don't know. I don't even know. I'm at a point where I just throw my hands up and say, okay, because there's nothing we can do. We can't. I feel like we're in a situation where we're in a no-win, and so I just kind of, we're going to ride the storm out till we find someone else that, in 4 years, who's it going to be? You know, is there going to be a better solution? And
I certainly hope so.
I can't think of one that we've had so far. I mean, I don't know. I'm disillusioned by the system, just because it's, you know, I thought there would be someone that would come to the rescue, but Robert Downey Jr. should come to the rescue.
There you go. He could be president.
That's right. Or The Rock. I would vote.
What did you think of Nikki Haley? Or did you not really know that much about her?
The things I've heard about her, I don't know enough facts that are not leaned one way or the other. You know,
Okay.
So I don't know. Well, you tell me about her.
She's conservative.
Okay.
She's pro-Ukrainian war.
Okay.
She wants to defeat Putin, which Trump does not. He wants out of it.
Yeah.
And she is an anti-Trumper. She feels about Trump the way I feel about Trump. He shoots himself in the foot.
Yeah.
He's his own worst enemy.
And he doesn't talk.
Says things that are ridiculous.
Yeah, and he doesn't talk good about her.
No, he doesn't.
So, I mean, that's the only information I have is stuff that is common knowledge. Like he has dissed her more than anything. So, you know,
But she appealed to independence, Michael. That was what attracted me.
okay.
She appealed to independence. She appealed to soccer moms, which is a huge part of the process of getting elected, is winning over the soccer moms. Suburban women. She appealed to them. And I was hoping for another way other than a Trump-Biden showdown.
Well, I think the only solution is the rich wine trash ticket.
There you go. We can make everybody hate us.
That's right. And you're going to be the president. I don't want anybody shooting at me.
I'll give you good jobs. You can lead the music and entertainment department
Perfect.
of the White House.
Perfect. That'll work. We'll have Hollywood fund us. You know, we'll be good.
They have that. What do they call it? They have the performing arts room in
That's
the
right.
White House. We could have something going on every weekend.
We'll have a rock band every night.
There you go.
Yeah, that would be fun. Then I'd have to worry about things whizzing by my head. It'd probably be beer bottles rather than
Probably beer
bullets.
bottles. Yeah.
We'll put up the chicken wire.
We'll be the rowdiest team in the history of the country.
We'll have the most fun.
Yeah.
You want a wall? Go ahead, build it. We're not funding your wall. You build it if you want it. We're all about letting you do what you want. You want to build a wall? Go ahead.
Build a wall. And whatever happened to Mexico paying for that wall? That's what I want to know.
Well, they took Trump off of it, so there was nothing left. Nobody wanted to pay. I don't know. It's pretty weird. But
You remember that, right? He wanted Mexico to pay for the wall.
yeah,
Said he was going to have them pay.
yeah, it's funny.
And Mexico gave him the finger, and that was it.
Yeah, they weren't going to pay for it. I don't know. I mean, why would they pay for the wall? Besides keeping their own people there,
Yeah.
which is probably something they wouldn't mind having. You know, it's crazy. But then,
Well, that's all I got, Mike.
that's all you got?
Yeah,
Okay, well then we'll go
that's
back.
all my spiel.
I got a lot of stuff, so this is pretty good. UMPC is launching a state-of-the-art robotics surgery program. That I thought was really cool. It's funny, it was a plot on one of the TV shows that I watch. It was Chicago PD. Yeah, Chicago PD did that as a TV show. Well, we're talking about really doing it. We're actually going to have a state-of-the-art robotic surgery program. That's in the UPMC stuff. I don't know how far out UPMC is. If it's just in Pennsylvania, or if it's other
It's
places.
just in Pennsylvania. It's not out here.
But I think it's really exciting. Surgeons at the UPMC Leader Surgery Center will now have access to a robot-assisted surgery technology. It says here the surgery center in the outpatient services building at the UPMC Memorial is the first UPMC to offer robotic-assisted surgery. So that's really cool because this is the way of the future. It's funny because a lot of people don't like the idea of robotic surgery, but you talk about when you're talking about being able to get that small of surgery and stuff, you want something that's going to be accurate, and people are not accurate. It's like the nobody likes my car with full self-driving because they don't trust it. Well, they're not going to trust this either. But my car is very accurate. It sees everything that's going around. This surgery, it's going to be able to see all angles, all the micro. I don't know, the microtics or whatever you want to call it. It's going to be able to zero in on things that we can't even see with our eye, but we'll be able to see it with this robotic thing. I think it's an awesome. What are you doing? Why are you being? Oh, you want that? Okay, I'll give you that. All right, so you'll stop by. You want this? There. Take it. Take it. I'm all about making use of technology. Technology is our friend, as long as we use technology.
It's the way of things, Michael.
Yeah.
We're going to have to get used to it because it's the way of things.
Right. And people are always saying, well, what about the jobs or whatever? It'll create more jobs.
Surgeons will still be there.
Yeah. You're not going to get rid of them that easily, unfortunately. I shouldn't say that, unfortunately, because I haven't had that. I had one that almost killed me, but I'm still here. So he didn't do a good job of killing me. But, I'm all about technology, and I think technology makes things better. I think that eventually we're going to see full self-driving as a regular thing. A lot of people see it as a negative. Oh, I can drive better than the car. Not really, because the car sees things that we don't see. You can see forward, you can see back with your mirrors, you can see the sides, but with the full self-driving, you can see even the blind spots just by looking ahead. That's the way this surgery is going to be too. People are going to say, I don't know, I don't think I trust this. And you're going to trust a human being who has flaws. And that I have a hard time trusting for a lot of things. You got to really trust that surgeon if he's going to go in and cut you up. So I think I'm all for it. I'm all for this kind of thing. I think this is the wave of the future, and this is I'm glad that they're getting into this. I think it's safer overall because humans are flawed. So there's going to be flaws in this, but it's only going to be flaws that the humans actually put into it, or the lack of information. But it's going to be overseen by a human, I would imagine. I would imagine that they're not just going to put, some of the benefits of the surgery include smaller incisions, less scarring, reduced pain, easier access to areas of the body, the ability to perform complex procedures with improved visualization. I watch My 600-Pound Life, and talking about surgeries that are problematic. You get a 600-pound person, or this one guy was 900 pounds. You get someone that big, you can't just cut into them. And it's funny because if you watch the surgeon, he uses robotic surgery. He goes to a table away from the surgery table, and he puts on these glasses, these virtual glasses, and he does the surgery like this. I'm all about robotic assisted surgery, so I think it'll help a lot of people. It'll help people get done better, quicker, safer. And the fact is, they can zero in on things a lot easier when you have this kind of thing. So I'm all about it. So I'd like to.
Have you ever watched the show Upload?
Yes, I love that show.
Okay, so did I. I didn't watch the last season, but I want to.
The last season.
The whole premise of the show was someone hacked the car.
Yes. Watch the last season. It's really good. I actually like the premise of that. The premise appeals to me so much. I know that, or I believe that there is an afterlife, but there's always a small part of me that says, what if there isn't? What if there isn't? This would be a thing that I could live with. I could be happy being uploaded to a computer. I like the idea, except I don't like the idea of what you were when you died. If you were 12 when you died, you're going to be 12 in here. Wow. I don't like that idea, but I'm not 12. So, but it is kind of it's a cool premise. I really think that the idea that you can reside on a hard drive, your friends can visit you virtually, and all that stuff. I love that idea of, and someday that may actually come to, somehow we're going to figure out how we can capture this and bring it into something. And I'm surprised that nobody's figured it out yet. But in the same sense, when we figured that out, we're going to also figure out how to move things with your mind, how to, you know, I've seen different things like Musk is working on a thing where you can, you know, do things with your eyes for the paraplegics and stuff. And
he's had modest success with it already.
yeah, so when that does become a success, their whole life is going to change, and they're going to be able to figure that out and bring that into that world. That world could exist in our lifetime. So I want to see it. I want to see that happen. Christianity may not like that if it comes to happen.
No, it's not what we believe, Mike.
Right. But that doesn't mean that if someone turns that computer off, you're dead and you can go to your heaven, whichever heaven that is that you would look at, you know. I think the idea of it is really awesome. But then again, when there's too many people, at some point you have to merge all those files. I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. I think that that concept is something. One of the girls I was dating with back when I watched that, I told her about it. I said, now that is a cool idea. She goes, why would you want that? I said, because you could live virtually forever. She goes, yeah, but you wouldn't be around your friends. I said, they might be also in the program. And then she just kept coming up with all these reasons not to have that. But the reason to have that, I guess there's always a little doubt in my mind. There's always that small doubt that maybe it isn't what we're told. But maybe it is. So, you know.
Well, Mike, I'm going to give you a little secret.
Go ahead.
A lot of Christians feel the same way.
Yeah. I don't feel I'm alone.
There's always that little doubt that creeps into your mind. You're not quite sure.
Yeah. I mean, I was brought up in a situation that I just, you know, I can't, I don't know. There's some missing pieces of the puzzle that can't be answered in my head. And I believe from the age of 6, I believed in God, or a God, or a higher power, if you will. And it's just, what form is that? What do I actually believe? And I'm not really clear on some of the things that I believe. And that, but I believe there is something. So something has changed in my mind over the years, especially recently, because of the, I don't know, maybe Satan is sending this thought into my head, or thoughts into my head, or finding these things that are happening on this Skinwalker Ranch thing, where they're finding these things that really don't make sense to me, even more than before, that sometimes I think we're just an experiment of someone else's, and that we're actually being kept in a cage, and you know, the earth being the cage, and you know, so, but I still don't believe in aliens totally. But some of these things are pretty convincing, that things are going on that we don't know, and there are things going on that we can't explain, and that fascinates me, because before I didn't even think about that. That stuff never was even in my head, because I always had this firm believing that we are it. There is no one else around, no one in other planets, and as long as I believed that, everything was fine. Now they put this little thing in there saying there might be other people, or it might be other beings that are visiting us. And I'm seeing these videos, and I'm seeing these things that are really messing with my head. They're really, but, you know, I don't know. Every once in a while, I just get this thing that I'm missing something. Something is out there that I don't know what it is. And it could be something trying to pull me away from my beliefs. But I don't know. It's it's just really weird for me to even go into this much detail, because I try not to think about it on a day-to-day basis. I try to live my life, try to help other people. I try to be the best person I can be. I try to speak the positive, much different than I used to be. You know, I try to do the right thing, and I've always tried to do the right thing, but I really feel that this is the best version of myself there ever was. And I think that that's the key to everything, is to try to be a good person, try to take care of other people, try to make things right. You know, I don't know. I've done a lot of bad things, and I've done a lot of good things, and I try to focus on doing more good things than bad things. What do you think?
I've got an answer for you, but you don't want to hear it.
So go ahead, shoot it.
There are two kingdoms in this world, Mike. There's the kingdom of evil and the kingdom of good.
Okay.
And, I choose to be in the kingdom of good.
That's a good one to choose to be in. I don't see you as an evil person.
I've done some things
I
like
know.
you, Mike. I've done some things.
And the thing is, we've had the chances to decide what is the path that we want to take. And I don't think we're that far off of each other's path. I think that
No.
I have some things that confuse me from time to time, but overall, I think I know where I'm going.
See, I name mine, and mine is the kingdom of Jesus Christ. I name it. You don't name it.
Mostly
But I
because
name mine.
I get tired of people being offended by things that they don't understand.
I'm tired of it too, Mike. I'm tired of people taking offense to things.
Right. And to me, it's like you either believe in something or you don't. And yeah, sometimes I get on the middle ground where I'm like, well, maybe I'm wrong. But usually that's short-lived, and I'm back to where I was. And it's just because of things that are around me that make me double think things. But overall, I think I've got a pretty good grasp on things. And I think that I realized that, like, some of the things I've done were so wrong that that I'm kind of surprised I've done some of the things I've done, because I knew they were wrong, you know, at the time. Because all my life, when I was 6, I was sure I was going the right way, and I've deviated a little bit here and there, but you know, it's funny because when I wanted to go to church when I was a kid, and I remember talking to my mom, take me to church. She goes, no, you don't have to go. She would go, and my grandmother would go, but I couldn't go. And I'm like, I never understood that. And as I grew older, I still didn't understand why she had such a problem taking me, other than I was a little kid. But, you know, oh, what? Christine said, go for it, Doug. So I guess she was telling you to say what you wanted to say. Because we've had this discussion, actually, early in our relationship. I'm going to say this because you said go for it, Doug. So I'm going to tell you that you're the reason I'm saying what I'm going to say. She said the biggest reason, the biggest reservation she had with dating me was that our beliefs did not align.
That's a hard thing.
I said, well, what's that mean? Well, I believe in Jesus Christ and blah, 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 blah. I said, and what about me? She goes, I don't know what you believe in. I said, well, okay, let's assume for a second. Let's assume for a second that I don't believe in Jesus Christ. First off, we all know that Jesus Christ was a person. We all know that. We all know that he actually existed, because there's proof of that.
But the question is, was he the Son of God?
Well, that is the question, but let's assume for a second, just a microsecond, that he wasn't the Son of God.
A lot of people believe
Okay,
that.
but let's assume for a second that what was his message to us? His message to us was treat people fairly, treat people right. Don't try to be a good person, try to help other people, try to do the right thing. Right? Am I wrong?
Well, technically you're wrong.
Technically I'm wrong? He told us to
Yes.
destroy people? What? Tell me.
No.
Let's talk.
You're right about that. You're right about how to treat people.
Okay.
You're dead right about it.
Okay.
But he also said that the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And what he was saying is that there are two kingdoms. You have to make a choice what kingdom you're going to be in.
Okay. And okay.
And then he said, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and no man can come to the Father except through me. That's the entrance into the kingdom, is through him.
But
That's where he got in trouble. That's why they wanted to kill him.
okay.
They didn't want to kill him because he was a good person. They wanted to kill him because he claimed to be God.
Jesus was also God. What? Jesus was also God. But am I okay? But okay, so okay, now we'll assume now that he is the person that you're saying. Okay? Would you have a problem dating someone who I believe in a higher power? That would be God, Jesus, whatever. But it doesn't. Okay, if you were a Methodist and I was a Baptist, but we got along great. You have a problem with that?
My wife and I get along so well because we believe the same thing.
But that's not the question.
No, but I'm just saying, it makes it easier.
Yes. But
If you and your spouse believe the same thing, it makes everything easier.
the same thing, as far as I think, is that if we believe in a God, not multiple gods, but a God, we believe in taking care of other people, not hurting people, being the best person you can be, blah, 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 all that other garbage I just mentioned. And we believe in that higher power. And we both believe we're going to that higher place. Where's the disconnect?
Well, the disconnect is, what do you do with Jesus Christ?
What, that's between
See,
me.
that's the
That's between
question he
me
asks.
and Jesus Christ. That's not between you and me. That's between me and Jesus Christ.
Absolutely. You are absolutely correct. But here's the thing, Mike. Baptists, back to your original
Well,
question.
yeah, I just picked those
Baptists-
two. I don't mean.
But Baptists
I'm just
are
saying.
probably going to marry other Baptists.
Okay.
Like United Methodists are probably going to marry other United Methodists. And Salvationists are going to want to marry other Salvationists because they believe alike.
What's a salvationist?
Salvation Army, what I
Oh,
was
okay.
opposed
I didn't know if that
What I
was
was
a missing. I didn't know if that
It's
was.
just it's another denomination.
Okay.
Just
I
another
never heard that one before. I mean, I knew you were a salvation minister, but I didn't know that was an actual. I mean,
It's a church.
I didn't know
It's
that
a
was.
church.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I realized it was a church, but I
And
didn't.
we're called Salvationists. That's
Okay.
what our nickname is. Our
Okay.
nickname is Salvation.
Are you closer to one than another? Closer to a Baptist?
United
or
Methodist.
Okay. All right. There we go. So, the bottom line is that this is a personal relationship between me and my higher power, my God, my whatever it chooses to be, whatever, I would say God is correct, but some people prefer, higher power, and higher power is less likely to offend somebody, and that's the reason I use it more than anything. But the thing is, it comes down to this: if you were believing in your faith, and I have my faith, and they're similar, but you can't tell me what the difference is between them, then they're the same.
Okay, so at the Salvation Army Center where I work, the rehab center,
Mm-hmm.
guys go to AA and NA.
Mm-hmm.
There they talk about a higher power.
Mm-hmm.
I teach Celebrate Recovery, which is a Christian 12-step program.
Okay,
Our higher power is Jesus Christ.
which is what I have.
Okay. My higher power is Christ. Right? Some guys resent that.
Mm-hmm. That's why I don't want to get into an argument. I don't want to get in an argument with somebody over something like that, because it's still a higher power.
But they won't go to me with me to other Celebrate Recovery meetings because they want their higher power to be whatever they want it to be.
Okay.
See, I'm coming from the fact that there's a kingdom ruled by Jesus Christ, and he gives me an option. Either I join him or I don't.
Right. Yeah.
I choose to join him. And then the Bible tells me not to be unequally yoked, which means I should marry someone who believes like me. See, you and Christine are close because you get along.
Yeah.
You get along very well.
Yeah.
But she would like you to name your kingdom.
Trash. The trash.
She would like you to name it.
Well, I am here because you are good at heart, but because my trauma, I was and afraid of churchmen. Oh, okay. Well, that actually makes sense. That what she said.
I'm afraid. Tell her I'm afraid of churchmen too. Sometimes.
Well, no. Her. Okay, so little background on her was that she has been married, well, I guess 2 times, and then had her second. I don't know if it was. I don't think she was married to the second guy. The second guy died on her, but the guy that she was with last, the one she just got divorced from, was a church-going guy, and a radical church-going guy, a fanatic moron, and made up things, and how the woman must be super subservient to him, and he quoted all kinds of things saying, it was just horrible. It was just the things she told me. I mean, he was a maniac, and he would quote things inaccurately. He would tell her things inaccurately. He would tell her she doesn't do things right, and it was just horrible. I mean, it was like it was in the old way of doing things, where a woman is not allowed, is better to be seen, not heard, and all that stuff. And he was really abusive mentally, and plus he was apparently putting arsenic in her food. So some kind of Christian that is, but I don't know.
It's most likely, Michael, he's not a Christian at all.
Well, he thinks he is. He says he is.
Yes.
He goes to church.
Well, see, Christianity's not really a religion, Michael. It's a relationship.
Yes.
It's a relationship with Jesus Christ. And Patty has a relationship with Jesus Christ and God. I have a relationship with Jesus Christ and God, and we can commune together with
Right.
that relationship. That's what makes it so strong. When I'm at my worst, Michael, I'm bipolar. I was really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Verbally abusive.
Yes.
Right? And she didn't divorce me because she knew that God put us together. So she hung in there. Now the marriage is pretty good.
That's
Very
good. He's a narcissistic psychopath.
Well,
It was remarriage? Okay, I thought the second one wasn't a marriage, but anyway, this person was a narcissistic is a narcissistic psychopath. I've known
he's
you.
going to have to, and he's going to have to answer for it.
Yeah, and I've known you when you were.
Yeah.
Pretty bad at
Yeah.
times. At times, and I
Well, it got worse.
that's scary because you know.
Because I was undiagnosed and untreated for years.
Well, people back then didn't even talk about that stuff,
Mm.
and but it makes sense to me a lot more now. Some of the things that happened around when we were younger, and it's I'm not the same person I was back then too. I'm totally different than that. I don't even know how I made it this far because I was so unprepared for life. If it weren't for people like you, Pete, Rob, and then the people after that, I would have never survived. I was lucky enough, or fortunate enough, or blessed enough, whichever term you want to use, to go and meet the right people, see the right things, and be able to tie my loose ends together. And I never, if you would ask me back then where I'd be today, I would have said, well, I would have died at 50. Because that's all I knew. My dad's brothers and sisters all died at 50-ish. And I figured that was it. I've got till 50 and that's it. And, you know, it's funny because all my life I was worried about 50. When I was 21, I was worried about 50. Because that's the magic number. My dad died at 50. He was 15 brothers and sisters, all dying at 50 except for one. And, you know, since I hit the 50, I don't think about it. I don't think about how old I am. I just keep going. And I feel free now. I feel for the first time in my life, I feel free. I feel like I bet you we just had a power outage. I heard the UPS kicked on. I think we're down. We're good for about 7 hours on the UPS. But you know, I feel that everything's where it needs to be and everything's where it's supposed to be, and I'm where I'm supposed to be. And I'm not done with my work. I got things I got to do. I got things that I gotta finish, and that's why I think I'm here. I think I'm here because I didn't do everything that needs to be done yet, and I feel.
I want to leave you with one thing, Mike.
Go ahead.
Just think about this.
Hey, listen. I listen to everything you say because you're in a lot of ways a mentor to me because you're one of the people that didn't say no when I needed help, and you didn't even know I needed help. So,
Thank you.
Your opinions mean a lot to me.
Well, I don't have just a religion. I have a relationship.
That's good.
I have a king that I have to obey. I have an advisor that I need to take his advice. And I have a friend that's there when I'm crying or need picked up. And one that'll laugh with me when I make a joke. And one that'll tell me I'm ridiculous when I'm being ridiculous. All those three people are the same. It's Christ. It's a relationship, not a religion. That's the difference between every other religion and Christianity. Christianity is a relationship. Christ is as real to me as you are.
Okay.
He's not some distant God that you have to worship to get to know.
Right.
He's willing to be, I know this, Michael. He is with you now because he brought us together after all these years.
Yep.
There's a reason for that. And it's more than just friendship.
Yep.
And he brought you and Christine together for a reason. And it's more than just relationship.
Yep. I agree with that.
So just think about the relationship.
Well, I mean, you say relationship.
that.
I understand that, and I kind of feel that I say faith, but I believe that that's a relationship. I believe that
Faith is another word for it.
Yeah.
I like to say relationship because he's more than just a cross on the wall for me.
right. But you got to have faith to get
To believe
that,
Yes.
and I believe that I believe that my faith is a lot stronger than people give it credit. And if they just look at what I do from day to day, or how I treat others from day to day, I feel that should. I mean, another woman had said to me, every time I'd see her, she would say to me, well, I know you don't believe this because, I said, why don't I believe that? Well, because you don't believe in God. I said, why do you believe that? Well, you don't talk about it. I think that that's the wrong way to think about it, because if you look at my life, look at what I do, I don't do bad things, at least not on purpose, 90% of the time. We all do bad things, but
We all do bad things.
but the thing is, I think that we really need to stop judging others like that, because she judged me as, that I don't believe in God, and that you can't do that. You can't go up and just assume because you don't talk about God all the time.
You don't have to wear your religion on
Right.
your sleeve.
Yeah, and so she stopped doing it finally. She kept, after the second time I said to her, "Why do you keep saying that? Why do you keep saying that? You keep saying that I, what do you say? What do you see in me that says that I'm this bad person?" And she finally had to stop saying that. She has not said that to me in about probably 6 months, maybe 9 months. Because I just got tired of hearing her. Well, I know you don't believe this. Wait, why do you say that? Why do you say that I don't believe that?
Michael, your lifestyle is very admirable. My wife got saved when she was, I'm going to say 16. It may have been 14, it may have been 17, but let's just say it was 16. On the outside, she was a good girl. Raised in church, she was a good girl. She didn't do virtually anything wrong on the outside. And when she got saved, you couldn't tell the difference between before she was saved and after she was saved. Me, there was a difference. I changed. She didn't have to. She was the same sweet, nice, good human being before she was saved till after she was saved. Your lifestyle is admirable. You're not going to have to change too much if you deepened your relationship with God. You wouldn't have to change too much. Christine wouldn't see a totally different person. That's an advantage, and it can be a hindrance. Because if you start comparing yourself to other people, you'll come out pretty good.
Well, I try not to do that, though.
No, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
if you start doing it and you say, well, I don't talk like Trump, or I don't act like this person, or in my situation, I don't steal to get drugs. I don't steal I don't sleep around so I can afford drugs, right? I can feel real good about myself, but Michael, the bottom line is that if it wasn't for Christ, I would not be going to a good place when I died.
That is the bottom line.
That is the bottom line. So, Michael, I just want to say your lifestyle is good, bro.
Well, thank you.
That's why we're on radio together, because I appreciate your lifestyle.
Well, I appreciate your appreciating that.
Yeah. See if that's say that 3 times in a row.
I don't even know that I can. Yeah, I mean, the thing is that we're all here in this world, and we got to live with all these people, and I think the best thing any of us can do is just show the best part of us and show people that there is other ways to do things, you know.
There's a better way, Michael.
Yeah.
There's always a better way.
And it's funny because when I was growing up, I remember when my uncle told me that I was going to go to hell because I played rock music. And actually, he denied saying.
You ought to hear the Christian rock bands I listen to.
Well, my sister apparently said to him that I said that to her, and he said, "Well, I don't remember ever saying that." I do. I remember it very clearly. And he apparently has had a change of heart since then. He was a Baptist minister, and he was very strong about his baptism. I actually spent a long time disliking him when I used to dislike people. He was one of the first people I disliked. And since I've gotten older, I don't dislike anybody. I don't have time for hate in my life. I don't have time for that kind of stuff. It's just too much energy. I believe in my Zen. I believe in my peace of mind. You know, that's so important to me. And the songs that Ken and I wrote were not about sin. They weren't about being evil. We wrote about life, about everyday life. You know, I wrote about losing people. I wrote about trying to deal with the pain of losing people. I wrote about, I was in charge of the lyrics most of the time. Usually when he wrote lyrics, he wrote things about my girlfriend is a Martian. That was his idea. I had to finish he would give me the idea, and then he would say, okay, I need this, and I'd write the stuff around what his ideas were. But most of my songs, I don't write like party songs. I write about life, and that's what I think the message has to be about. Life. It doesn't have to be about how much can you drink or how many drugs can you take. I don't need that stuff. I've never had a desire for drinking. I've never really been into even marijuana. I've got a medical marijuana card, but what do I use it for? Sleep. I use it for what it's meant for, sleep. But that's the thing, is that everything can be used for a good thing or a bad thing. I just use it for what I need it to sleep. So if I didn't use the marijuana, I'd use Tylenol PM, something like that. So it's the best sleep I've had in the last 30 years been the past 5. So I don't know. I think that if the world would be a lot better if they would just if people weren't so adamant about having their own way. People should just accept people, and if they're gonna change, they're gonna change in their own time. You can't change a person. You can make them aware of things, but you can't change them. It's like a Trumper or a Bidener. You're not going to convince a Trump person to go to Biden. You're not going to convince a Biden person to go to Trump. Their mind is set up. You can set little information their way, but you can't change them. They have to change on their own. They have to see, okay, maybe you do have a point here and there. But the bottom line is if they're doing good, if they're doing something to help other people, that's the best. If you can get that out of somebody, at least you got that out of them. If you can make them see that maybe their idea isn't necessarily right. I was in sales for 30 years, Never thought I'd be in sales because I hated sales. But I don't know. I just believe that, you can give them the facts. What they do with it is up to them. So that's how I feel. And this dog is looking at the green screen. I don't know what. Never seen a dog stare at a green screen before. But it's really funny. I'm going to put a third camera on the dog. Just
there you go.
So you can see what's going on. But he's got a weird You're a weirdo. You know that?
My dogs are sleeping behind me.
Fortunately, I like this dog. Come here. Come here. Hey, come here. Come here. Oh, don't come here then. All right. This is a kind of a fun story. I don't use Uber, but this is a funny story. Uber driver picks up a passenger and realizes it's his long lost friend.
Wow.
It's like I mean, that's pretty weird. When it comes to viral on the internet, it says a clips of two lost friends running into each other in an Uber shows how genuine is often the most appreciated. In January, Uber driver Danny Blayton, 51, picked up a passenger, John Johnson, 60, for a ride to Dallas UT Southwestern Medical Center. Blayton who didn't see the picture of his passenger ahead of time, kept his eyes mostly on the road, making small talk as the car took off. I thought for a brief second, do I know this guy? But then he recalls thinking, no, I can't be. I don't know anybody from here. He's not from Texas. However, the passenger, Johnson, asked the driver, Blanton, if they'd met before, which led to Blanton looking over his shoulder, looking back at the wheel, and doing a double take with glee as they shook hands and started laughing, working together at the popular Dallas nightclub phenomenon in the 1990s. Blanton was the bartender and Johnson was head of security. They describe a wonderful, chill relationship that flourished at work, but not so much beyond it, leading to their eventual loss of contact. So that's kind of cool. Just you haven't seen somebody in, that's 30 years, and find out that it's someone that you do. So that's something that it's kind of funny when you run into somebody like that. Like when I saw you after all this time, or Rob, or Pete. It's just kind of funny. It feels good to see you. It's like I looked on Pete's Facebook and he had a picture of him and a girl, and they were kissing and they were out in the middle of nowhere. I don't know if they were hiking or something, but it just gives you a nice warm feeling to know that your friends are doing well. So I'd like to see him in person sometime. Maybe I'll take a trip up there and see him. What was it I wanted to tell you? There's a seminar in Cleveland this summer. That's where you at? What? Are you in Cleveland?
I'm in Cincinnati. I'm 5 hours.
Oh, that's the other way. Darn it. This I'm probably going to go to this seminar because it's an acting seminar, and it's with a casting agent that I really want to get to know. And I saw she's having this thing, and I was thinking of going to it. It's going to be, I think, a couple days, so I'm probably going to go to that. It's going to be in August, so it'll be interesting to see this person, because I've seen a lot of her videos talking about how to do self-tapes and stuff like that. And a casting agent is someone I need to make more friends with. Oh, I also found another person that did I mention? I don't know if I mentioned this or not. He's a director. He's in California. He became a friend of mine on Facebook, and we started talking back and forth. And he's looking for projects, and I sent him one of my projects. So we're talking back and forth about it. See what happens.
Good.
If it happens, he wants a second script. I showed him the first script, so he's looking for television series, and I just happen to have one. So I don't have two completed. I have one completed. The second one I was thinking of taking. I put a bunch of concepts down, and I wrote scripts for those concepts, but they're not long enough to be a complete episode. So I was thinking of taking these two concepts and putting them into one episode. So I want to look at that a little closer over the next couple days and send them something out. So I don't know. Anything could happen, and
Anything can happen.
you know, I figure I got nothing to lose by giving a little information away. So, what's the next thing here? Oh, this is kind of cute. So this bride to be was taking a flight, and her outfit doesn't actually fit in the overhead. So they put it up with the pilot. That was kind of cool. Weeks before Jordan, I don't know how to pronounce her name, Giorgio, and her fiance boarded their flight to Europe for their wedding. Jordan had called the airline to confirm that she could bring her wedding dress on board. The agent she spoke with over the phone assured it wouldn't be a problem. However, she's a sports broadcaster from Tampa. She knew that the experience in person could differ, especially since the couple had a layover in Paris before reaching the destination. When the day finally came over, her now husband Anthony, her and her husband Anthony were flying from Florida to their wedding in Villa Balbiano in Lake Como, Italy. She felt worried. So going through airport security turned out to be... What are you doing? Hey, get out of there. Going through airport security turned out to be surprisingly smooth. They recognized it was a wedding dress. They helped us safely get it through security. And then, after successfully making it to Paris with the dress intact, the couple boarded their last flight to Italy. However, things became challenging once it was in a smaller plane, and we boarded first and attempted to use the coat check, but the dress wouldn't fit. And then trying to stow it in the overhead, it proved futile. It was too small. That's when I started to panic and feel nervous. Fortunately, the plane's captain, Christine, came out from the cockpit and personally took the dress into the front, into the cockpit. So she assured me she would secure it and buckled it up, and she did with a smile and took the time to chat with me after we landed, asking to see pictures. So her dress was in the cockpit. I think that's kind of cool. Where else could you get that?
In the jumpsuit. In the engineered jumpsuit.
That's right. I just thought that was kind of a feel-good story. You know, you don't hear too many good things like that happening. An off-duty firefighter in North Carolina jumps into a river to save a man's life. With no hesitation, he jumped into Cape Fear River. Remember there was a movie out, Cape Fear?
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. Anyway, looks, I would say, we would both drown if I were to do that. It says Wilmington, North Carolina. One man is praised as a hero after he saved another man from drowning in the Cape Fear River. He's a firefighter who was off duty when he saw the man fighting for his life. Steve Hunt is a captain with the New Hanover County Fire Department, who says he was simply doing his job. He didn't hesitate to jump into the water, especially since a man's life was on the line. I guess this time of year it wouldn't be cold, so there's no hesitation. It was instinct. I'm calling him to reach my hand, and he's not swimming good at all. His head was going under, and then he would get up for just a moment, then he would go under. He starts pulling. He starts just pulling for the river and saying, "Let me go, let me go. I can't go. Let me go. I want to die." But at no time was Hunt ever going to let the man go. He believes the man, whose name is unknown, was trying to end his life that night. But Hunt said he did everything he could to make sure he would live. I was trying to keep him focused on anything else other than, the bad stuff. I was like, hey man, I know it's kind of a weird time, but look at the battleship, how cool it looks. We got a view that most people didn't get to have. It was kind of peaceful. And Captain Hunt's girlfriend, Heather Miller, saw the whole thing happen. She said she was terrified for her boyfriend's life when he jumped in, but wasn't surprised. Those kind of people, those people have no fear at all. I don't know how they could do it. I mean, I can't even imagine running into a burning building. I'd be like, unless my dog was in there, then I'd probably run in there. But if there were people in there, I wouldn't run in there. But if a dog was in there, I would run in there.
I feel exactly the same way.
But I guess he pulled it off. He pulled it off, and boy, I'll tell you, those are a special kind of people. I don't know.
They're the true heroes.
Yes, they are. And a lot of people don't even realize, I mean, how much they put their lives on the line. What was this one? Rescue, Good Samaritan. Oh, this was interesting too. Watch this trapped lamb reunited with its distressed mom by two Good Samaritans. Oh, now we're not going to be able to look at it because I don't subscribe. That's really not nice of you. Okay, well, you just have to take my word for it. They saved this lamb and put it with its mom. Let's see. Key inflation. Do you know what key inflation this last year was? Year over year?
No.
2.5% increase from June a year ago. And he says it was the least, he said he had the least amount of inflation in his term. I don't know what term he's thinking of, but I don't think that's true. But
that's going to be a hard one for Camilla to run against.
Yeah. Personal consumption expenditures price index increased 0.1 in June and was up from 2.5 a year ago, and the annual rate showing a slight decline from the prior month. That's just, I don't know. It's just, I kind of really think that it's, hopefully it gets under control. But, well, his high was here. That was June 2022.
Well, Mike, I'm looking at houses, and both here and in PA, and my interest rate is 3 for the house I have.
Okay.
It's over 6 for the house I want to buy.
Holy cow, that's bad.
It's almost impossible to make that decision. Well, actually, it's easy to make the decision. It's not worth
Yeah.
3 additional points.
No, that's crazy. I think I bought my house, I think it was around 6 when I first bought it, and I refinanced it and I got it down. But that was, that's that. I wanted this house bad enough that I was willing to do what I had to do to get it. But then I refinanced it as soon as, I guess about 2 years later. But yeah, it was, that's, I'm so glad I don't have to deal with that now. I'm so glad, I mean, I own this place now, so it's mine. I made sure of that before I retired. I didn't want any bills. The less bills, the better.
Yeah.
Let's see, this is that. This is the one we just did. And we go up here. Oh, did you hear about the kingpins that were caught?
Yes.
That's a big one. Gotta make this bigger so I can read it. Can't read it. Okay, let's bring that up. There it is. U.S. authorities have arrested 76-year-old drug cartel drug lord Ismael El Mayo Zambada, and one of the sons of the jailed.
Chapo's.
Yeah, one of the sons of the jailed. How old is El Chapo? If this guy's 76, how old? El Chapo's got to be way up there. Wow. The capture came after a high-ranking cartel member tricked Zambada into flying into El Paso, Texas, unwittingly. The U.S. offered a reward of up to $15 million for information leading to Zambada's arrest. El Chapo's son, Joaquin, Joaquin Guzman Lopez, happened to be on the same plane, and both were taken into custody. So I guess that's who the son was. The son was not that, or was it? Wait a minute, Zambada leading? Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess. Well, how old's the El Chapo guy?
Oh, no.
Well, let's see. We should see that. That's because, I mean, man, he's got to be in his 90s, I would think. How old is El? Huh. Looks like that must be a question of the day here. Oh, wait. Okay. So he's 67. Okay, so now I'm confused. Okay. Authorities have arrested 76-year-old Mexican drug lord El Mayo and one of the sons of El Chapo. Okay, so now I understand. Okay, so the guy that was 76 was El Mayo and one of El Chapo's sons. Okay, now I got it. All right. El Mayo and El Chapo found at the Somala cartel 30 years ago, which has since become one of Mexico's most powerful drug organizations. Jeez. The arrest...
El Chapo was born in 57.
Okay. Yeah, that makes him
2 years younger than me. It makes him 66.
Okay. Yeah, he was born in April 4th, 57. So, yeah, that's crazy. Wow. Well, anyway, that's another cartel guy going. And then we got... Oh, Big Lots apparently is having problems. It's funny, I used to have that as one of my accounts, and I hated dealing with them because they wanted it lower than half your price. So we would, whenever we had to get rid of something, go to them, but they were our very last resort because we'd lose so much money when we were selling to them. So it's good to see them going down now. So, but yeah, they're going to shut their stores down. Actually, the one in Harrisburg is going to shut down. Oh, that's what I want to talk to you about. Do you like cars?
Yeah.
There's a car company called, what's the name of the company? Mecum. Did you ever watch Mecum?
No.
Okay, they're just a big auction house for specialty cars. And they actually started running in Harrisburg. They ran one for the past 3 days, this past weekend in Harrisburg. And watching those cars, I love looking at cars, old cars and stuff. And when I see what these cars are going for, it blows my mind. Like Barracudas and stuff like that. Super B, they had a Super B that went for $200,000. $200,000. Some people don't have a house that's worth $200,000. And these guys are dropping $200,000 on a car. I mean, granted, it's a nice car, but boy, I can't fathom buying a car that's that old.
I can't fathom having that kind of money to put on a car.
Yeah. And
that you're not going to drive much. You're going
to
sit in the showroom.
Yes, that's what I mean. I mean, at least I drive my Tesla. My Tesla is, not that expensive, not as expensive as that, but they had one that went for $500,000. $500,000. What? Where do these guys come up with this money? How much money does this guy actually have? Just amazes me. Doesn't even make sense to me. But yeah, these cars, it's like they were selling collections of cars. I'm thinking, this guy had that 200,000, that 200,000, that 100,000, that 60,000. It's crazy. But it's really neat to look at these cars. But like the first car I saw was a truck, a 1970 pickup. Okay, I thought, I'd probably give him like $1,000 for one like that. It was like, what was it? It was $20,000. $20,000
for 71.
Yeah. Then I saw a Batmobile, custom-made Batmobile. It was awesome. I thought I would love to have that custom-made Batmobile. That went for like $16,000. I thought, wow, this is my car place. This is my car. Then all of a sudden, it was like 100,000, 120,000. There were Corvettes going for 200,000. I'm thinking, $200,000 for a car. I mean, I guess people can say to me, because mine was a Tesla, but mine wasn't 200,000.
Michael, there's a difference though. You have a practical vehicle that you drive from here to there.
Yeah.
Right? It just happens to be a very expensive one. That's all.
But is it? Because you pay $3.50, $3.60, $3.75 a gallon.
Well, yeah, that brings the overall cost.
Yeah. I
Low
mean,
maintenance, things don't break. You're not in a repair shop.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's I don't know. I just think it's crazy that I mean, but if you got the money, I guess you want to throw it away. But it's not throwing it away, because I mean, they can
It's an investment.
Yeah, these are investments for these guys. These guys are, they're investing in cars that they're never going to drive. And I've seen Jeff Dunham's car fleet that he's got, because he's a car guy, and he rents these big giant maybe owns the garages, these big garages, and I'm like, looking at these cars, it's like, I mean, I can't even imagine owning one of those cars. But hey,
He's also married, I think, to a woman half his age. So
yes, and he has two daughters that are probably close
almost
to
as old as she is.
Yeah, I was going to say probably close to her age. But yeah, I guess when you got money, you got money. I don't know, but I love the fact. If you ever watch, I found it on YouTube. He has this tank he bought. He was taking it down to a car show. He was driving it down the road. He has a Batmobile too. There's only, yeah, and he has the Batman cowl, and he put it on, and he got gas. I think it's funny. It's just amazing that he can do all those things that we would have done as a kid. It would have been fun.
We would have done it. That's right.
I still would do it
and
if
Michael,
I had that.
if we had the money, we might be spending it on stuff other people think.
Oh, sure.
Was stupid too.
Yeah, I would bet you that would be no doubt about that, because I just never had that kind of money to throw around. He didn't either, because he was adopted, but I think his father was. What are you doing now? I think his father was a doctor or something, and so he wasn't, really hurting for money. But I can't imagine telling my parents I was going to be a ventriloquist. Actually, I think I may have told them I wanted to be a ventriloquist at one point, or a magician, or a musician. But they probably never heard it, because they never heard anything I said anyway. So, oh man, that's funny. Well, I guess we are done.
We are done. Another week down.
Yes. And we'll see what happens for next week, see what good topics we can have. And, I will try to come up with some good stuff. So,
okay.
So, all right. Well, you got anything else you want to say?
Good night, everybody.
No, that's the easiest thing. Thing.